Right, greetings, fellow grade 10s. Look, it's Mr. Chacha again, and we are back with another probability video, right? Now, let's look at this one. 7.1, they say two events, A and B, are complementary events. Now, already what you need to know is that, look, as soon as they say they are complementary events, which means probability of A plus the probability of B must give you 1, because that is going to be the product of events that are complementary. And they are saying now they make up an entire sample space, right? Now, also, they are given, or you are given, what is the probability of what? What is the probability of your A naught? Because these represent your A naught. Are we together? So which means now, therefore, if this is the probability of your A naught, then which means you can find your A, from that. But let's see in terms of what the question require us to do. 7.1, they want us to complete the statement. What is going to be the probability of A plus the probability of B? Now, your probability of A plus your probability of B, because they are complementary events, this is going to give you 1, right? Because now the probability of A plus B, they are going to give you 1 since they are complementary. Now, let's look at the second one. Now, in this one, they want you to write down what is going to be the probability of A and B. Now, let's start here. Since you are given that firstly, these probability of A and B are complementary events, and which means now if they are complementary events, now those events are not, going to have your form of your intersection, right? They are not going to have your intersection. So which means now their probability of A and B, it is going to be equals to 0, because there is what? There is no intersection between, right? There is no intersection. Are we together? Then that's going to be your reason. And now they want you now in the next question to do what now? They want you to write down in terms of what is going to be the probability of B now. The simplest way of just calculating the probability of B, you're going to say now, isn't it that you already know that the probability of A plus the probability of B is going to give you 1, right? But now you're already again given what is the probability of not A. Now, since you are given the probability of not A, it's actually the same probability of not A. Is actually the same as probability of B, because since these events we said that they are what? Since we said that they are complementary, which means if it's not this event, therefore it's going to be a probability of B. So which means in this case, therefore your probability of B is very easy. You're going to say this is going to be just same as 0.35. Altogether, then that's what you are going to write. And then now let's see and continue and find out what is it that the question also require us to do. And now from there, we are saying after that now, 7.2, they say now a survey was conducted amongst 150 learners in grade 10 at a certain school to establish how many of them owned the devices such as smartphone or your tablet, right? Now, which means we are also given this result. They are saying now 8 of these learners did not own either, right? So which means they did not own either the tablet or the smartphone. 20 from them now what owned both of these gadgets, and 48 of them owned only a tablet, while X of them owned a smartphone only, right? Now they say represent this information in a Venn diagram. So this is what you're going to do. You're obviously going to start by drawing this as your Venn diagram, right? You're going to draw your Venn diagram, and then you're going to then come again now and then you're going to label these things. Now let's see. Now if this is your first cycle, this is going to be the other cycle. And the reason why these cycles are going to intersect each other, because here we are having an or, which means we are having what? Not necessarily in this one, but in this one we are having an and, right? And an and means now there is an intersection. There is an intersection, which means there is a correlation between the two things, right? So now from here, which means you are going to come and say, since you are having learners who are having both, you are going to start here. So this is going to the probability of smartphone, and this is going to the probability of tablets, right? Now you come here firstly. They are saying 8 did not own any of these gadgets, which means the 8 is going to be represented outside the sample space, right? It is going to be outside event T and also S. Now the 20, they say they owned both, which means you are going to start with the 20 here in your middle, right? This is going to be a 20 in your middle. And now from there, what is it that you're going to do? Now they are also saying now 48 owned a tablet, right? So if it's 48 who owned the tablets, the answer that you're going to get, you're going to say, look, out of these 48, you are having 20 that, owned both. So which means now the totality of this is going to be same as now what? 28 subtract what? This is going to be same as 28, because these are going to be the number of learners that at least owned only the tablet. And now this other one, you're having the X learners who owned a smartphone. So if you're having a learner who basically owned a smartphone, now which means you are going to subtract it from the intersection itself. So which means you are going to say, if you are having X, now you are going to subtract the 20 here, so that you are getting what is going to be the representation of your S altogether. Then as soon as you get that, and then this is going to be your Venn diagram. And remember, the sample space of this is going to be same as 150 learners in grade 10. Now that is going to be the representation of your stat. And now after that, the next question, they say how many learners owned only a smartphone. So basically they want you to calculate what is going to be your X subtract 20. Now for you to do that, firstly you need to understand how many learners at least owned the smartphones, all of them, right? So to find out the learners who owned smartphone, you're going to say, look, you're going to say this is going to be X subtract 20 plus 20 plus your 28 plus your 8, which is the outside one. All of these values that you're adding must give you 100 and what? 150, right? Because this one is negative 20. So please, let's also be in a position that we understand that. So if this is negative 20, you are going to start here. This and this one are going to cancel, right? So which means this is going to be same as 150, and this is going to be same as 150. Subtract what is it that you are having there? I think the totality of this is going to be a 36, right? So this is going to be subtract 36. So the answer here is going to be subtract 36, and this is going to give you your 114. And now this is going to be your value of your X, but we haven't answered the question. They said this one requires the only, right, smartphones, which means you're going to come back and say from here, what is the X? You're going to say now 114 subtract your 20. And what is the answer that you're going to find there? The answer that you're going to find here, this is going to be 94. 94, which means you're having 94 learners who owned only who owned only a smartphone out of 150, right? Now let's look at now the following question. They say calculate the probability that a learner selected at random from this group owned only a smartphone, right? So which means basically they want you now to write this 94 in terms of a probability. So this is going to be a probability of smartphone only, and the probability of smartphone only is going to be 94 out of 150, and the totality of that, this is going to be 0.64. Altogether, this is going to be 0.63, I think. Let's fix that. This is going to be 0.63 as your answer, right? This is going to be 0.63. And now let's then look at your last question. This last question, they say owned most they say owned at most one type of a device. So now the learners that would at least own one type of a device, basically this is, they can either, so this is the probability of what we are saying, this is probability of at least owning a smartphone or what, or a tablet, right? This is owning a smartphone or a tablet, because that is going to be the the possibilities that you are owning at least any of those. And whenever you are looking for the S or O, which means you are going to look for all these events here, all these events between S and T, which means, remember what we had here, we had this, this was what, this was our 94, right? This here, it was given by 94. And what else now were you given here? This is 20, and this is going to be what? This is X. Let's see what is it that you are going to do from here. Now, they said at least at most owned a smartphone. So those learners who are going to at least own a smartphone, they are going to what? It's going to be what? Firstly, you are going to have these 94 learners who owned a tablet, and you are going to have what now? You are going to have this, your intersection. Now, but now in here, you are going to have this, what? Now, but let's look at this one. These ones are now, these are the ones that own both of them. The 20 here are the ones that owned both of them. So which means in this case, you're going to jump them and say this is going to be your 94 plus your 28 plus your 8 over your what? Over your 150. Why are we saying that? Because look, the 20, it's a representation of your intersection, which means those are learners who owned both of the phones, right? So that's the reason why we are skipping the 20 altogether. And then at the end, now we are going to write the result. I think when you add all of this, it's going to be same as, let's see, in terms of what you're going to get. I think this is going to be 130 over 150. And what is going to be your answer that you're going to get there? For all of that, I think this is same as 13 over 15, which is same as 0.87 altogether. So basically, this is the probability of the learners who are going to own at least one of these phones, either your smartphone or your tablet altogether. Thank you very much.